My name is Rowena Reyes. I live in Thornhill. I work as a Senior Director, Head of Enterprise Risk Policy at Royal Bank of Canada. I work in risk management. My role really is I head up a team of policy managers, policy developers. What we basically do in and day out is draft policies for the bank to make sure that the bank stays out of trouble. So let's say the bank has policies on residential mortgages. We develop that. We make sure that it's reviewed every couple of years. I moved here in Canada in 2009, so that was about 14 years ago in May. It was springtime. The minute we landed at Toronto, the Toronto Pearson International Airport, it felt a little bit overwhelming. It was big, no? The signages in French were intimidating. Although we've seen big airports in Asia, Hong Kong and Singapore, it was very different for us because it had a different smell to it. I can't explain it. It has a different smell. And the atmosphere was intimidating, but when we saw our immigration officer, you know, how you need to present your papers to the immigration officer, he wasn't intimidating at all. He was looking through our papers, and I felt like, hey, this guy is like a welcoming party to us, and we felt really welcome. After he's done with reading our papers, he said, "Welcome to Canada." I felt, wow, Canada really is a welcoming country, and they want us to feel at home. And it wasn't just that. I feel like every time I go back to Canada from outside another country, or even driving back from the States, Buffalo, you come back and you feel welcome. I feel like after so many years, Canada has actually become a home to us. Another impression that I had of the country was that it's big. We research about Canada and we know that it's one of the biggest countries in the world, but once we got here, wide open spaces, my God, 30 million people versus the 100 plus million people in the Philippines now, right? It's a city and yet it's a country because there's so many open spaces. There's so many other nationalities, and Filipinos are everywhere, especially in GTA. So I didn't really feel like I was not home. It was just me and my husband, but Filipinos, everywhere we looked, there were Filipinos. The other impression that I had of Canada was that, what's the deal with summers and patios? I grew up in the Philippines 30 plus years of my life, complaining about how hot it was. We'll have rain days. But in here, people appreciated summer. What's the deal? Why do they want to burn themselves under the heat of the sun? And I didn't realize and I didn't appreciate it until I had my first experience of winter. Summer is important and we look forward to the summer because of how difficult the winter can be. My persona at work is very, very Filipino, I think, and it has allowed me to really grow. We are survivors. We are resilient as a nation. We are adaptable anywhere we go. Somehow, through typhoons, through calamities, through graft and corruption, through whatever challenges, we know that we will always survive. There's always something positive in anything that happens, right? So in the office, that's who I am. I'm the positive person. I'm the person who, okay, let's calm down. This is not a big deal. During my first year in RBC, there was an earthquake in downtown Toronto. It shook a little bit, and then everyone was panicking. Wow. And I told myself, oh, that was nothing. Growing up in the Philippines, earthquake was like for a minute of ground shaking, and we'd survive. We survive. It was like every day to us. So Because of those experiences, almost nothing would face us. There's a problem, we talk about it and we solve for it. I also remember the time when I was trying to find my first job. I've been in RBC for 14 years, so this is my first job. And obviously I've been happy in the bank. They've really taken care of me. But it took a lot of effort and a lot of patience and a lot of waiting and a lot of, that resiliency, that patience, that, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. North America was just coming out of that financial crisis, and obviously in the banking industry, it was hard to find a job. My ambition was just to land a job, even if it's an entry-level job. I was happy to do it for work-life balance, but even then it was difficult. It was really difficult. And I told myself, you know what? This is gonna happen for me. I just need to focus on what I'm bringing to the table. Maybe I don't need an entry-level job. Maybe I really need to find my niche. I applied for a job. I saw a role that, wait, I think this is speaking to me. And I said, this is not an entry-level job, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna apply for it. I made it my career to tailor my, you know what they say? Tailor your resume, make sure that it has all the things that they're looking for. So I got a call after 4 interviews, nothing. A month of nothing in the summer. I was nearly crying because I poured my heart out to this application. How come RBC doesn't want me? I think I can do the job. I didn't hear from them for 1 month or 2 months. It was during the summer. And then I had an opportunity to join another company, but it was not in banking. So I was a little bit heartbroken, but I was still thankful that at least I'm able to, there's an opportunity for me to have that job, right? For months, nothing. So I said, okay, fine, I'll take this. Something in me that said, I had to find out what happened to my RBC application. I wrote an email to HR. My heart was racing. I'm not used to this. I think Filipinos are not used to elevating ourselves, and if you want me, take me, right? But this time I thought, you know what, I'll draw something from that Filipino heritage of, I'll make it happen. Told them that, hey, are you still interested in me? Because I have another job offer. They emailed me back 30 minutes later and said, oh, so we apologize for the delay because the manager was away on summer vacation. Someone will be in touch with you for your offer. So 30 minutes later, they phoned me and they gave me an offer. I was really, really thankful for that. It shows that, we will survive. We will do what we can to advance our cause, to achieve our ambitions. Early years in RBC, I was really, really happy and just thankful that I found a job, that I found myself in a field that was not just related, but right smack in there, banking, right? I'm very comfortable in that field, and I didn't have to start from the bottom. Okay, I was doing really, really well, getting great feedback from my manager, but I wasn't being promoted. Some people say that, hey, you've raised the benchmark on the floor for analysts, but then again, I was not being promoted. I said, so I was thinking, is it because of my color? Or is it because maybe people are thinking, oh, she's an immigrant, she's just happy to be here? There were a lot of those questions in my head. Am I worthy to take the next step? And I see a lot of people being promoted my same level, and yet at the same time, I felt like, I think I can do that job. How come I'm not being promoted? I applied for a promotion, and you know what? The people around me were a bit surprised to find out that I wanted to move up. Is it because I did not show that I was ambitious? Is it because I was too timid? Is it because I hardly say anything during meetings? So I did it. I managed to move up and I became a director. But it was bittersweet in the sense that I am there, I'm in meetings, but I would feel that insecurity. When they see me, when they look at me, do they look at me, Rowena Reyes, director, or do they look at me as, oh, she's Filipina, she's just like my nanny? There's nothing wrong with those professions, but somehow it felt a little bit paralyzing. I would feel uncomfortable with those thoughts. It's hard to navigate those feelings because I was also doubting myself. Am I just imagining it? It's just in my head, or am I crazy for feeling all these feelings? And I should be thankful that I'm in that room. I'm talking to them about policies, presenting what the bank should be doing in this area, and I should be considering myself lucky already. But how come I'm feeling all these negativity and insecurity that I'm not worthy to be there? One of the things that actually helped me, I found myself an ally. I found myself a mentor. She's not a Filipina, she's in the person of my manager. And she saw my talent, she saw how hard I worked, and she also saw how strategic I think, and she appreciated what I brought to the table, what I brought to the team. And she made me feel that you are worthy. It's hard to navigate those feelings by yourself. You have to express them. You have to have someone help you realize that it's not about your race. It's not about where you come from. It's about what you're bringing in there. It's about your professionalism. It's about what work you can do. That mentoring partnership, that relationship helped me come out of my shell. Helped me realize that this is not the end for me. I am worthy to lead people. I am worthy to go to the next level. I'm worthy to lead discussions, and I should be confident enough to say that, hey, Vice President, hey, Senior Vice President, that's not right. If all of us could find that mentor or advocate, it really is very, I think it's very helpful. That's why what I'm doing right now is I've been mentoring not just Filipinos, but other women who would like to rise up the ranks. I'm mentoring someone in our Malaysia office. He's Filipino. I also am mentoring a Filipino here in our office in Toronto, and Indonesian. So these minorities, I'm trying to mentor them to, pay it back, right? So it's really that. One of my dreams actually is when I retire, I want to mentor immigrant Filipinos to help them navigate all the challenges that faces as immigrant to this country. You open channels, TP24, CTV, you don't see a lot of Filipinos. You have to go to Omni to see them, right? There have been some Filipino representation, but there's not enough considering how talented we are. Considering our population here in Canada or even in Toronto, you'd hope that you'd see more of us in media. But unfortunately, we don't see a lot of us. I remember in the Philippines waking up to, I can't remember anymore the title of the morning shows, but we really are good. We are talented. Why can't that be highlighted, showcased in mainstream media here in Toronto or here in Canada? We are no longer minorities. We are visible majorities here in Canada, and we should be out there. We should be showcased, not just when there is a Filipino event in Bathurst and Wilson. We're showcased in CP24, but we should be there. We should be out there. My son was born here in Canada, and the first and only time that we visited the Philippines with him was in 2015, 2016. He was 3 years old. He doesn't have any recollection of the experience at all. Since then, every time we talked to him about the Philippines, he didn't have a lot of interest until maybe 2-3 years ago when he started paying attention. He started liking adobo. He started liking sinigang. He started liking Jollibee. Rice in the morning, rice lunchtime, rice during the nighttime. We told him, you know what? You are so Filipinos because you eat rice. You ask your friends whether they eat rice in the morning. They'll tell you no, because that it's so Filipino. And he said, oh yeah, I am Filipino. At this table, at dinner time, we talk about our experiences because he will not experience the difficulty of living in a poor country. How it is to live in uncertain times, how it is to live, how are you going to school when there's typhoon? How are you going to finish your assignment when there's no electricity for months? How are you going to go to school when there's a volcanic eruption and the sun has not come out for days? Those experiences have formed us, our resilience, our adaptability, our ability to survive, to thrive in any situation. My son has never experienced that. Everything has been provided for to him. He comes home and said, oh, I have a lot of assignments. It's a lot of work. I tell him, that's not work. That's just an assignment. He doesn't appreciate that he has everything that he needs. So my hope for him, through my husband and I, constantly talking to him about how hard life is in other parts of the world, not just the Philippines, but that here in Canada, we are so privileged to have a country where it is safe, relatively safe, where we work hard and we live a comfortable life. It's not like that everywhere. So the culture of appreciating what we have and the culture of being able to survive whatever difficulties we're faced with, that's what I want him to realize and to appreciate. Of course, we came here to give the future generation a better life, so they won't have to experience the difficulties that we've had to face. But at the same time, I hope that despite, notwithstanding that they've not experienced those difficulties, they will still be able to appreciate and embrace the experience that past generations have had, and continue that tradition of we will survive, we will thrive no matter what we face, and that's how we are. In the last 14 years that we've been here in Canada, it's given me, actually my son, Jacob. We waited for him for 10 years, but Canada provided us that environment, that support to have him. I have a condition and been trying to get it sorted out, but here in Canada, I really was provided that support, and with no cost at all. Right? Of course, we're paying for it through our taxes, but without that worry of what if it costs more than we had anticipated, but there's no worry to that. So we had him, we had Jake. He is a miracle baby, really. The other thing that Canada has really given us is that peace of mind for the future. We know that we work hard, but at the same time, we are also able to leave something for Jacob, because Canada is a secure country, it's a rich country. We're raising a child in this country where education is really good and he has a future in it. The other thing that Canada has given me is this opportunity to shine at work, opportunity to share myself as a Filipino manager, opportunities to grow as an individual contributor, as a leader, and it continues to invest in my learning. Surprises, as one of the words of my immigration story. Having my son was a surprise. He is a miracle. We did not think that he would join our family. He was a surprise baby, and every day with him continues to be a surprise. How he continues to grow, how he continues to evolve, how he continues to surprise us with his attitude, whether it be positive or negative. To those aspiring to want to come to Canada to make it their home, do your research. Identify that something that you know Canada will benefit from. Your 1, 2, 3 things that you can be truly proud of, such that when you come here, you are confident in yourself that I'm gonna be able to make it. When you've identified those 1, 2, 3 things that, hey, I'm coming to Canada because I'm a great people person, or I know my banking, or I know my risk management, you come here and don't second guess yourself. Don't think that you are not worthy enough. And find yourself an advocate. Your advocate may not necessarily be able to help you get your job, but your advocate will be someone who will champion you, who will constantly encourage you and remind you that you are worthy of that position. You are worthy to be in that room with people who have been here for far longer than you have.